Fala galera, tudo certo? Hoje eu converso com um produtor que lançou seu primeiro álbum em 2008, mas foi em 2010 com o álbum Transgressive que ganhou reconhecimento global com sua música psicodélica e inteligente. Hi ZYCE, how are you?
Good, very good, thank you.
So, how music got in your life?
Starting from the beginning, my father and my brother, they are both musician players, you know, like guitar players, you know, they had bands when they were younger. So even that I was like a sport player, I was always surrounded with the music, you know. And I easily learned the guitar, and then everything started, you know, went to one band, another band, and so on, you know, like just came up, you know.
But do you remember how was your first experience with electronic music?
My experience, well, I'm not gonna lie, but I went to my dealer, you know, to buy marijuana, weed. So, you know, like eventually he asked me to stay, you know, like, and yeah, we of course sit down, we smoked spliff, you know, and some cool music was in the background, you know, and I went really deep inside this, you know, and I felt so cool, and I started asking, what's this music, you know, and he told me like, it's psychedelic trance, and I was like, what, you know? So this was like my first contact. So in this time there was no internet, you know, at all. So I asked some friends around, you know, I started asking, you know, how people make this, you know, and they started telling me about some softwares. Eventually a friend who his father had a big company and he was like having internet, that was a privilege in this time. So he found us some softwares, you know, just the beginning, you know, and this is how everything started, you know, just from there, you know.
Your debut album was Hypercube. You released it in 2008.
Yeah.
From there to now, what has changed in your music?
Everything. Completely everything, you know. Somehow even the way how I was producing music changed, you know, and from country to country, how I was traveling step by step, you know, like I got the influence from different crowd, and at the end, you know, like all of this combining, you know, it affects to your music,
Of course.
and how you also making the arrangements, what kind of sound you're gonna use, and even the production change, everything completely changed, you know.
And was ZYCE your first project?
Well, yeah, just the thing was, since the beginning, I always had several projects. I always think to express myself on a different, in different genres. Everything was related with trance music,
Yeah.
but I liked all of these kinds, and progressive trance, and psytrance, and some deep dark. I was really into everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I started with ZYCE project, Actima project, and Vertex project in the same time.
No.
So yeah, recently I'm just doing ZYCE, and from time to time I play as well the other projects, but basically I'm focused on ZYCE music.
Which moment do you think was the breaking point of ZYCE? The time that poof?
Real explosion when 2013 to 14, when we released the We Come in Peace song,
Yeah.
Soul, ZYCE, and Solar Kid. After that, you know, everything was different, you know, like I had to think like 6 months in front for a free date, for a booking, you know, and for me all of these things were like crazy, you know, like I couldn't even imagine this world, you know, and it's still somehow in a way climbing, you know, like there is always a higher mountain and a higher mountain, you know, how you
For
climb,
sure.
there is always, you know, another
Level
reach,
that-
another
yeah.
level, yeah.
Yeah. And from all the tracks that you've produced, do you have a favorite one?
I have to say that everyone have a favorite track in a certain period, you know?
Yeah.
So for sure, at the moment, I can tell you 1-2 tracks which are like, for me in my set, I'm like waiting this moment, you know, to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like in every year I had this kind of moments. So this is something with change with time. With also with my knowledge, with how I progress in life with the music, and how deep I actually go with this.
In 2010, you founded Tesseract Studio, yeah?
That was definitely the biggest step in my life I ever did, you know, just not for ZYCE, and it's like more for something what just happened in Serbia, you know. Serbia was a small country, and in one moment everything was exploding with the amount of artists, you know. And of course, you know, in this time we didn't know how the label works actually is running around, but we were all like not so satisfied around, you know. We always found a way to somehow we wanted to do, you know, and it was like something natural what happened, you know. We had some examples in the past of how people did this, you know. They just gathered the crew and then start sharing the knowledge, how to improve the stuff. Everybody was good in certain things, and yeah, and everything started to like grow up, you know, bloom. You know?
And you guys just released Progressive Trance.
Basically, it's about progressive trance. So let's say like 80% of it. But of course, we have chill out releases and we have progressive house releases, which is not so dominant with us, but progressive trance is our like signature.
Now I want to talk a little bit about production. What gear you've got in your studio?
The gear which I have in the studio is pretty basic. So I have 2 computers, the MIDI controller, and I just recently bought an analog synthesizer, Moog 37 Sub.
And about your monitors, which ones you use?
They're Focal, Solo 6B, and it's also with the Sub. Sub, it's called the Sub 6.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is cool. It's one of my favorite projects from back in the days, if you remember.
In which software do you produce?
I started a long time ago with Acid Pro. That was the only thing available, you know. And in this time, then I moved to Cubase. Cubase 3, I think, was my first one. Then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, and 8. Now I have, and it's really amazing one. As well, I love Cubase. I have so many good friends making amazing level of production on all kinds of softwares, you know, starting from Logic and Cubase and Acid. Now it's called Sony. As well, Fruity Loops, like lots of different kinds of softwares. And if you know to use it, of course, you're gonna make a hit and amazing song.
Yeah, it's not about the software; it's about the person.
Yeah, it's about the ear. It's not the gear; it's the ear. They say.
Yeah, exactly. And do you have a favorite synthesizer?
At the moment, of course, the analog one which I have, it's at the moment the priority. But now the cool one, I like Spire, I like Diva, I like Massive. Massive is amazing, and Trillion is good. The Rapture I like.
Do you use Trillion for the basses? Or
actually, yes, I've been using a lot of Trilogy, then Trillion. Then I start using Rapture for bass lines, you know. But for a long time I was using this. Now I use it just for some effects, and there is some now new banks in Trillion which are like effects. So I'm using that as well. But I'm also open. Now I just bought like Re Pro, I think it's called, amazing instrument, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like Diva. Amazing one, amazing.
And do you like to create everything, or do you just go with the presets to be quick, and how does it work?
Well, now with this analog one, I make my own, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, like everything is about searching the colors and making it. Depends what you want, you know. I know basically that with some raw preset, you know.
Yeah.
I know to make some basic color of the presets, but of course I always search for the new sounds and combine. I even use and samples and instruments. Everything is allowed, you know, just to make a song, a hit, a beautiful song, whatever, you know, like just to make something nice, you know.
And I was listening to your SoundCloud, and man, you got a lot of tracks. How is your workflow as you are frequently traveling and playing?
Not all of the tracks are on the SoundCloud, and I have to say I have like 11 albums released in my life with all of my projects, you know. And lately, last 2 years, everything is much slower, and traveling, you know, cost, you know, like
Exactly.
on a way. So I cannot be all the time. Even that I have to say I'm a studio guy, you know. Even that I love playing and everything. Most of my time is in the studio and where I feel best, you know, most relaxed.
But can you produce like traveling with headphones or someone's place?
I tried, and no, it's not my thing. I still prefer to be my studio. I can produce with someone, but the best results I get when I'm really alone in the studio, mostly when everybody sleeps because I work at night.
Yeah.
And when I'm really focused on what I'm doing, and then everything just come up.
And lately, what have you been listening to?
Yeah,
Nice.
all kinds of music. I'm not even the Serbian old music. I like it all. I'm not focused in one direction with the music, and everything inspired me.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And can you tell us what are you working on now?
Well, I just released an album that was half year ago. I'm still kind of promoting the album, but at the moment, when you have this kind of time after the album, then you use a little bit of time to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm working on a mix of progressive techno music, which is just inspired me, and I have to say that the Moog have something to do with this. Whenever I make it sound like this, but I like it, and I'm just making it, and from time to time playing it. But it's all in the borders of ZYCE music.
And to finish, man, any advice for the guys who are starting to produce?
Yeah, of course. The biggest advice of it all is work, work, and work. I remember myself working in my room, which was two old speakers from my father and an old computer, 10 hours every day minimum. Really hard work every day, as whenever you can. I was from 8 to 10 hours every day, but I know people who spend much more, and it's all about the work and dedication to something you really want, and that's it. Work, work, work.
Nice, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate
pleasure,
having you here. E galera, vocês estão gostando do Estúdio Aberto? Dá um like no Facebook, se inscreva no nosso canal do YouTube e até a próxima. Valeu!